All right, it is 3 p.m. Again, another live look here across the area at a much quieter shot through Harris County. Take a look at that lower left-hand box. That's the top of our studios here in the Galleria. And boy, what a difference just, 30 minutes makes. The wind was blowing here. It was thunder, lightning, a lot of heavy rain, and now things improving. Top right box, though, that is NASA down Space Center Houston, and the dark clouds rolling in there. We are expecting a gust front to move through there with some pretty hefty winds. And if we could go over to my system now, take a look at this. This is a live look from the KHOU boardwalk. You could see the leading edge of this line of storms now arriving through this area. So now getting into Galveston County, we're going to start to see a line of storms, especially as you get up towards Galveston Bay. That's where some of the worst of it is right now. So the gust front pushed through here. We had a little bit of a gust of wind, and the rain and the storms are back here, behind me off screen towards that direction. So this is all moving down towards the south. Let's get you to radar. We'll see how things look right now. Severe thunderstorm watch still in effect through 8 p.m. for the entire area. Again, the severe component is going to be isolated, but if a storm can develop and it can become severe, the upper limit of where it could go is actually pretty high. We could see maybe an isolated tornado or some funnel clouds. We could see large hail, and we could also see some damaging wind gusts. And so far, actually, this is how a lot of our warnings in this area have been driven by that damaging wind potential. All right, there was a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here for Liberty County. They did just drop that. They let that expire at the top of the hour. So there's the good news that none of these storms have so far been able to maintain that severe status. But the green box out here, just to give you an idea of how heavy this rain has been, and again, it's been a pretty wet last 2 weeks. Flash flood warning in effect up there, getting near the Beaumont area. There's the big storm that's just pushing out towards Space Center Houston and the KHOU boardwalk right now over League City. There's the outflow boundary, that really skinny green line pushing towards the coast. That's going to help to propagate these storms down towards Galveston. I would expect this in Galveston probably within the next 30-35 minutes or so. Not severe warning at the moment, but a lot of lightning, maybe even some small hail just to the north of League City. Getting into Liberty County, that storm that was severe warned again, just a lot of heavy rain and lightning at this point. The winds have really died down. They were in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range on the radar estimation. Now we're in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. So again, sub-severe, and we're not seeing any hail on our hail tracker. Just a little bit of light gray here, that's just pea-sized hail. It's actually melting before it even reaches the ground. So severe threats diminished there. We have been watching some hail tracks, though, especially down into Brazoria County, getting into parts of Galveston County. So actually Matagorda getting into Fort Bend, Sienna, Fort Bend getting into northern parts of Brazoria County. We're watching for some hail there. This storm was never warned, but again, some of the tracks here indicating the potential that we had some really strong storms that could produce hail. Likely a lot of that melted and shrunk before it actually reached the ground, which is good news so far. But just to give you an idea of how significant these could be, some of the hailstones up in the clouds, not reaching the ground, were up to golf ball, maybe even lime sized. But again, a lot of these storms have weakened, but we do have more back to the west that we're keeping a very close eye on. Just up 59 from Victoria, also Port Lavaca, severe thunderstorms going through there with 1.5 inch sized hail, also 60 mile per hour winds. A concern with those storms. Farther to the north, notice we got a big break here in the rain. This is actually the gap in the storms that we were showing you here from our studio shot. But notice up towards Huntsville, a thunderstorm going out of Grimes County, getting into Walker County right now. This is not severe warned, but quite a bit of lightning with that cell as well. And then up towards the Cleveland area, getting into Shepherd. These are areas that don't need any more rain, that are actually seeing quite a bit of rainfall. In fact, as we take a look at just the last hour in terms of rain totals for some of these areas, look down towards Eastgate. We've seen about 2.5 inches of rain in just the last hour. Up towards the Shepherd area, probably about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So nothing significant, but think about it. These are just 1 hour rainfall totals on top of a very saturated ground, on top of the Trinity River as well. So we definitely don't need any more rain for these areas. And unfortunately, it looks like we are going to see at least another round before all of this is out of here later on this evening. Back down to Galveston County again, a line of storms, pretty feisty storms right now getting into League City, and then in the Alvin area seeing some of this heavy rain right now as well, but no severe warnings on this at the moment. So here's a look at future track as we take you through the rest of the afternoon. Doing a pretty good job, although it doesn't really have a lot of the stuff back to the west. So take this with a grain of salt, but We see that heavier storm push towards Galveston, gets there again within the next half an hour, 3:30 or maybe about 3:40 at the latest. And then more storms continue to redevelop back towards the west, coming in from the Victoria area and Port Lavaca. So Matagorda and Brazoria counties, you're probably going to be our focus here as we go through the next few hours. By 5 o'clock, the heaviest of this is now starting to move out towards the Beaumont and Orange area, out towards the Louisiana state line, and then we start to see drier conditions back through Brenham, Columbus, El Campo, and then it's not until probably 6 or 7 p.m. that the majority of the area finally starts to see improvements as we go through the rest of the evening. The hail threat is there, but it is diminishing, especially as we start to see more and more rain across the area. It's taking a lot of the energy from the atmosphere that would be there to help produce some of these larger hailstones, but still, if one storm can tap into the right atmosphere, we could see stones up to 2, maybe 3 inches in diameter. The wind threat, I think, will be a little more pronounced here, especially as that secondary line comes in from Victoria. We'll have to keep an eye on that, especially for coastal spots getting into Louisiana. Could see 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible, maybe even up to 80 miles per hour in the worst of those storms. And again, we've already seen severe thunderstorm warnings driven by that damaging wind threat. The tornado threat is there. It's not zero, but it is pretty low, but it does extend again through our eastern areas into Louisiana. So this will be the last threat that we focus on as all of this starts to exit out of the area. That's the latest we have for you on TV. We're going to do another update on the bottom of the hour at 3:30, but right now we're going to switch over to digital on KHOU, on Facebook, on YouTube, and KHOU 11 Plus for a little more on this forecast. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Pat Calvin here on the online platforms, just to give you another look here out towards the Kemah Boardwalk where the rain has started to come down. We are looking up towards the north. Here's Galveston Bay. You can see those low clouds out there, but nothing significant. No warnings on this storm at the moment. So we take you to our severe thunderstorm watch, which remains in effect for the entire area through 8 p.m. Could see an isolated tornado potential, could see some large hail, and maybe even some damaging wind gusts. So there's radar right now. No warnings at the moment. Everything is sub-severe, which is good news. There was that storm that I just showed you out towards Keene. The worst of it now starting to exit the Alvin area. Into Liberty County, this was a severe warned storm. They dropped the warning because the winds have started to come down. They were in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range. Now they're only in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. And hail has not been an issue either. Notice nothing really showing up here on that map. Okay, we have seen some hail tracks though tracking through Fort Bend County into Brazoria County. These have not actually produced any ground truth. We haven't seen any large hail reports coming in so far. That's the good news. Hopefully that remains the case. But you can see we do have more storms back to the west here, especially down through Vanderbilt, Victoria, into Port Lavaca, getting close to Palacios. So we'll have to keep an eye on these storms as they get into southeast Texas. A little bit of a lull in the activity right now across western portions of Harris County, getting towards Katy, Waller, and then getting up into western portions of Montgomery County before that second line comes through, and then up towards the Cleveland and Shepherd area. Heavy rain, a lot of lightning with these storms, but again, more bark than bite, nothing severe at the moment. This is our most impressive looking storm right now going through League City, but nothing severe right now. We are expecting all of this activity to keep moving to the east. Here's a brand new look at this computer model simulation. This is actually, I'm seeing this for the first time with you, so let's walk through it. 3:30, we're expecting maybe another round of rain and storms here again, especially from I-10 and point south. I think this is where the worst activity is going to be through the course of the evening. Things should start to die down eventually farther to the north, and then by 6 and 7 o'clock, we're looking at things starting to wind down. Again, any severe storms that develop can produce large hail. We are also keeping a very close eye on the potential for a squall line to develop. That could produce 60, 70, maybe even 80 mile per hour winds, and the tornado threat, not zero, but it is low. Could see an isolated tornado, especially as you get into Louisiana later this evening into the overnight. Best bet is to stay put if you can this evening. Stay off the roads. A lot of rain coming down. And also, we did have a ground stop earlier at Intercontinental, so make sure that you're checking with your flights if you're going anywhere tonight. Delays likely to rack up as we go through the evening. Another update coming up on air at 3:30, and then, of course, a deeper dive on the forecast in the 411. We hope to see you there.